Welcome to another series. This time, not one based around Attila. We're playing Rome 2, and in this campaign, we are going to try to succeed as Pontus, and just conquer as much as possible. More exactly, the homeland of Greece, all of Turkey, Asia, Galatia, Bithynia, Cilicia, and maybe even Caucasia. I want to take the Bosphorus. Basically, have absolute dominance over the Black Sea and over this part of the Mediterranean up to Cyprus. Anyway, for our technologies, our first goal is to get the organized supply technology and to build a muster field there and a consecrated ground there, and get a market settlement and a logging camp set up. When you get our main army here under the Sons of Rai, switch to the Ravaging Chimeras. We want our Basileus to lead the main force. As you can see, we can immediately get a trade deal with the Athenians and with Sardes, but we're not going to do that because of the Galatians, who will probably hate us due to that.
Will you have wine, fine olives, or agreeable talk?
I'm going to ask for some money there.
We accept and embrace.
And give up there. We're going to get 2 more units of Eastern Slingers, because, you know, why not? Then the Galatians declare war on us, and now we're in a lot of trouble. The Cappadocians set up camp next to us. Procopius returns to political duty, and with the Galatians, we're immediately going to try and get a peace treaty. They accept.
For my people, I accept. If there is fault in this choice, let the gods find it in me.
We're going to splash some money at them to hopefully not declare war on us.
Such wit will one day surely cost you your head. Let me take it now.
We're going to do absolutely nothing. We're going to instead wait for our muster field to build up and go from there. You can clearly see that the Cappadocians have set up there, and hopefully the Galatians don't go to war with us in an instant, because we obviously don't want that.
My lord offers you
Cappadocia asks a peace treaty from us. We say no, obviously, because we want to conquer them and prepare that way for a later invasion of the Galatians. We're going to go right to military settlement to get the Hoplite barracks, and now also get right on to building the Holosteros barracks and a Shrine of Poseidon. In addition to that, I can now recruit either to just hillmen. I'm going to recruit 2 of them. Well, actually, none of them. I'm going to recruit 2 Eastern Javelin men instead. which can later be switched out for the Pontic version, but we're not getting into
My
that
lord
now.
offers you peace.
The Cappadocians apparently get scared by us, and they plead for peace. We say no, and we begin recruiting hoplites. Armenia declares war on cultures, and talking about Armenia,
I greet you in my mind.
I do hope to go on the good side of these people. But not now. Not currently. First, obviously, we need to eliminate a certain Cappadocia. You can see, compared to my Attila videos, you might be able to spot I'm not actually going that slow as in nose. I'm not talking as much. That is because, well, there's not as much of a point to do that. Going to get some more healmen, and the rest I would like to be Cappadocian Cav. Something we're getting next turn, luckily. And we encounter the Seleucids, whilst we're on our little path with our spy. I found that Samosata, a settlement with wine, is undefended. There's no army there. I have decided to get 2 more hoplites instead of 2 more hillmen as well, because hoplites are just a lot better than hillmen, even at this point in the campaign. And the Cappadocians give loads of money for a peace treaty, but we need somewhere to expand, so we're going to keep denying them the peace they want, whilst making ourselves stronger. And stronger also means recruiting Cappadocian cavalry. For now, there's not really much to look at. The city of Samosata is undefended, meaning Massacre's probably defended, so we're going for the unprotected spot.
My offer is shaped into
The Bithynians ask for military access, and I accept without delay. Trapesos does the same, and well, I'm always going to do that.
How may I serve Pontus?
Our agent's been exposed, but that doesn't really matter because agents are of no importance when our army's marching in and conquering everything. Talking about that, we're going to build a temple of Poseidon and re-establish one of our armies. And that job's going to go to Pythaleios over here instead of Arizabazenes, I think it is. Because he gets loads of army specific buffs compared to Arizabanes. He's going to reinstate the Sons of Rai, or not currently, because I want to give him Pontic Royal Cavalry, not Scythed Chariots, which is what they are currently using.
we fire this arrow straight
The
and
Cappadocians
slow. It is
say that they will be willing to become a satrapy if I give them peace, which I reject happily, and then march my newly trained army all the way down to Samosata. And then I attack, And the enemy is dead. We can occupy the city and instantly Hellenize it. And at Amalesea, we are going to have a look at who can become the general of our armies. And that job goes to Pytholeos. Because finally, we can give him some proper cavalry, not just some chariots. We can also begin getting Pontic swordsmen soon, so that's pretty nice. We can also get some Eastern javelin men for him, but for now we're not going to do that. Meanwhile, Odysseus' Wanderers, an army of Trapezoes, with militia hoplites and normal hoplites, is just marching around our lands. Haven't really got much to say about that.
Welcome, friend.
And no one really cares for now. We can establish a non-aggression pact to also be able to gain and also be able to gain the trade when it comes to Rhodos.
But may Athena strike us all dumb if
we can do the exact same thing.
Accept, although my honor.
And with Cyprus,
Be welcome. If I can give you, I must accept.
we can do
although my
the exact
honor
same
cries
thing.
out against it. Your words have much truth in them.
And so now the Seleucids, Cyprus, and Rhodes, no matter how much they hate me, now are forced to trade with me.
I give you greeting.
The Chimerians do literally nothing, and I hope to keep it that way. Mithridates is able to also get a level up, which is just great. I'm going to give him strategist because we can move down to a trait which gives him extra movement points, meaning he can move a lot further. The Spartans ask for a non-aggression pact, and I'm happily going to accept that. The Cappadocians then, with their small force, just sit and do nothing, because they apparently really like doing that. There was war declared between Pergamon and Sardes, and one of our politicians begins liking Easterners. We're going to move right back to Amasea, and we're going to construct a consecrated ground to boost some Hellenic influence here. I'm not sure what Bithynia is. I think they're also Hellenic, even though they've got a leader who is the very opposite of the word Hellenic. Over here we can also eliminate the hillmen and get some Pontic swordsmen. We just need a little bit more cash to get a third unit. So I'm going to go out and
so that you may speak well and persuade me of your cause. Be welcome.
I'm unable to do that there, so I go to someone else. Like Cyprus as an example, and then realize that they are a puppet.
The blessing of the
So
Olympians upon you.
Rhodes is left.
What
Is the
then
only
do
one
your
left.
noble people desire of us?
They don't like the idea.
I give you welcome. Let Zeus and all the gods smile upon our meeting, so that all may
The
profit.
Spartans seem just as unhelpful, and it all falls apart quite quickly. from there. So it seems like I'll have to go in with 1 unit less in the army of Mithridates and deal with it from there. Sardis asks for a trade agreement, and it seems they have become really large.
Will you agree to this?
And if they pay me 500 at least, I will accept, and they agree to that. We get a random event about cavalrymen, which we obviously don't care for. We're going to begin replacing some of our units, and we're also going to begin training an army of pikemen. And go from there. The Galatians seem to be extremely isolated at the moment, with 2 armies which are probably not even at full strength. And the Cappadocians have finally decided to try and train an army. So all of that is looking good. Trapezos moves an army to the east, and our recruitment spree here is still going on. Over here in the army of the Ravaging Chimeras, we are going to go over and attack the Cappadocians. They're sharpening in the army, and so all very important there. Our spy continuously sending us information about the enemy's position. And we've currently got a pretty elite army, or at least as elite as we can get for now. Later on we'll be able to get something else going on, but not currently. Bithynia and Galatia get peace, and I'm able to go and attack the Cappadocians, and I'm going to fight it no matter how easy it will be, to showcase to you guys the might of the army that I have over here. The enemy has decided out to fight on the field, apparently, so it will be all the more interesting, you could say, because the enemy is not going to be sitting in their city. The Hoplites will form the main melee line with our slingers at the front and javelin men even further up, and our Pontic swordsmen are going to sit at the very back of our formation, with the Cappadocian Cav and our general on one flank.
We are at your command. Drive any doubts you may have from your hearts, for there is no room for Pontic Royal Cavalry, ready to ride.
And over here we can move up a little bit more. As you can see here, the general does in fact have Cappadocian cavalry, mob, archers which is a unit we don't have access to yet. So they have an advantage against us there. We're going to move our army up quite close to the enemy with our hoplite line and the sword line just behind to keep morale high, obviously, and also to be able to begin the deadly barrage. You can have a quick look, and the Cappadocian Cav are the average cavalry for the eastern factions and some of the successor states in the game, while over here we've got the Pontic Royal Cavalry, a unit of shock cav with a pretty high charge bonus, as you might be able to see here, 76, and pretty decent melee stats. I believe some of their stats are actually high. They've also got more armor and health. Other than that, Cappadocian Cav are a lot better. Still want to field some of the Pontic Cavalry, obviously, because they are the unique unit for us. Onto the battle though. Seeing that the enemy's finally moving down, and we're here. We're going to have our melee line move up as well, and some of our Cappadocian Cav can just blast down onto them with no issues whatsoever. And our cavalry is in a very good spot to win this. A little battle over here. Meanwhile, our slingers and other units are engaging in a bit of a messy battle between their archers and our archers. And as you can see, you can basically just charge through them. Our ranged troops beating down theirs, and here I'm actually going to move up my hoplites and all my Pontic swords. Going to send some hoplites to defeat the hillmen. By the way, hoplites can't run, so yeah. Our royal cavalry are in a bit of trouble, so I'm going to send forth all the remaining hoplites. And at this point, we have won the battle with just our cavalry, which just shows the power of Pontic Cappadocian Cav, and also just shows how absolutely terrible the Eastern early game troops actually are. They're so bloody bad that cavalry, who they should counter, absolutely crushed them. As you can see, loads of kills on all of my cav other than my bodyguards, my general's bodyguard. And that might be because our general's bodyguard was fighting mainly with the Cappadocian cavalry and multiple units of spearmen, which even though they are extremely bad, can still absolutely destroy you. Bithynia has created a satrapy out of the Galatians. Cappadocia's no more, and now we have control of all of these provinces. Galatia now being a satrapy is pretty scary actually, because this faction normally would be pretty strong. It's a shock that they actually fell for the offer. The next people that we need to defeat are Sardes, and
I am eager to hear
I'm going to
inspired as it undoubtedly is by the wit and
declare
wisdom of
war on
Athena
them
herself.
right now, after sealing a pretty good deal with them, with Pergamon that is. You can now get we can now get upgrades for the whole army, giving them better statistics, which is a lot better for the lesser units. So it is how it currently is. The Chimeras also get a bonus, some bonus points, as well as Mithridates getting some as well. So we're going to give them the Formidable Fighter's trait, which increases weapon damage inflicted by all the units in the army, making even our Eastern Slingers somewhat effective in melee against mob or other units of that matter. And I'm just checking here. Pontic swordsmen have better statistics than hoplites, even though the hillmen that Pontic swords replace have much worse stats. Anyway, with Cappadocia gone, our next move, obviously, as I said, will be to defeat the Sardes. We've now got military settlement. There's a Cappadocia's got an outraged populace, so we're just going to stick a shrine of Poseidon down. Our next move is going to be to get to the royal barracks, and now we'll be able to get Furious Spears and Noble Blood Cavalry. Some very good troops if you ask me, but some might see them as not that great. The melee stats have been buffed for the pikemen and the cavalry. We're still waiting for some support against Sardes, but at this point I am not going to declare war on them yet. Still going to wait a bit. Rhodos has got a random army in between the trade routes, and for some reason Cyprus has only got this small army, and they've been kicked out of Salamis. The Sardian version of the Ravaging Chimeras has now apparently been set up. They've got companion cavalry, who are a lot better in melee than are Pontic Royal Cavalry, I believe. Although here they are actually better because of their stat buffs. If you look here, 4625 on Royal Cavalry, and actually we're slightly better in weapon damage. I just seen that. It actually means that companion cavalry are less damaging in melee than our Pontic Royal Cavalry. Anyway, Ario Zabanese, Ario Barzanese. I'm not sure. He is our heir, and he's going to get a promotion, just like everyone else here. Even this random Procopius person is going to be allowed a promotion because he's just good. And it still leaves us with Mithridates having loads of gravitas. Gravitas being the Rome version of influence, I guess. And yeah.
By sea or by mountain, sire?
Our next move is obviously to break the competition at Iconium. We are going to, as you can see, there's Satrapy of the Seleucids. But the Seleucids are currently fighting on many fronts, the Egyptian front, and on this front here, against a coalition. Still, it's pretty scary, so I'm going to move to the north, where Colchis, one of the factions that extremely hates me, is going to have war declared upon it by us. And due to our port at Sinope being defended, they should have 0 chance of breaking through. Although they might, if they amass a huge enough force. We get the Oracle at a Delphi event. It gives us plus 10 wealth and plus 4 public order, which is going to be pretty handy currently with all the things going on at the moment. We're going to get some more cavalry, some more ranged units, and I think that's it for this turn. Would rather get loads of different units. Epirus is dead. Well, I shouldn't say dead. They're gone from the picture. And everything is looking up. Instead, I'm going to look at all the different heroes that I could now employ. Because our armies at Massacre and Sinope will need someone to keep them fit. And a hero, probably someone who fought at Massacre or Samosata, thinking, you know, those were the only 2 battles we fought. That is probably going to be what we're going to have as our training staff. Well, at least remember that's a guess. The armies at Trapesos just keep him moving around because, well, I don't know why. There have been 2 trade agreements that have been dissolved. And now Sardes is dead. Basically. Although they and the Seleucids are both still at war with the same factions and such. It does give us a little bit more breathing room with all of the stuff that we're going to have to deal with. I'm going to recruit 1 champion, or 1 hero, and that man is going to be either Carpus or El Mastas. I'm going to go with Carpus,
I see on my mountain, sire.
and
You did not ask me to do this.
from there we wait. We're going to get some citizen cavalry. Well, they are much worse, so I'm actually going to get rid of them. Well, I was thinking of getting citizen cavalry, mainly because they are a lot
I
cheaper,
offer this
but
now
no.
because the gods wish it. I may not
The Seleucids ask us for military access, and I'm obviously going to reject that. Because, well, it is the Seleucids who are not people that I want to be peaceful to. Bithynia and Galatia have broken their alliance, and that just gives us a reason to attack Galatia. There's been some secret meetings apparently, so I'm going to give those people positions. I'm going to marry Mithridates to someone. I'm going to send, no, I was going to send someone for tutoring, but no. Instead I'm going to have a bunch of characters marry, because, well, whatever. We can actually persuade a person to leave the disciples of Zeus, and I just did that. Now with the Galatians breaking their alliance, I'm instantly going to
Speak plainly.
declare against them,
We fight for you, my lord. None will escape.
and with that we should be on our way to
How may I serve Pontus?
a victory against them. This would also be our first walled city to take, so it would be pretty useful to have. I'm going to keep Sons of Rai in, over in Sinope, and go on with the turn. Obviously I want to besiege Ankara and then take it over, though that might not be possible due to the Bithynian armies being all over the place. And in fact they do take it, so now I've got a military ally doing a lot of things I don't want them to do, and they've got a bunch of very bad units. So what should I do? Well, I should attack them, but we are technically allies. In addition, Galatia's not a faction anymore, they're rebels. Because they have no settlements, and that morally makes them a bunch of rebels. Meaning, no one wants them. Or at least no one wants them around anymore. I'm going to get some Cappadocian cavalry. And end the turn. So, to sum up, we have conquered a whole faction and then failed to do anything against another faction because the Bithynians just spammed numbers against us. Sorry, against the Galatians. And we also running out of protection because apparently that still exists. So I always forget. So the main questions on our minds at the moment are: can we go to war with Bithynia? Can we just go and take stuff over? Or should we go to war with Armenia? And in the end also take Trapezost if we can. But whatever. Can we do all of this? Or will we calm down and do the smart thing and try to become a stronger faction economically? Well, all of that you can find out in another episode of this campaign as Pontus.